This week, we're going to be studying the science, art, and service of teaching. There is a long-standing debate on whether or not teaching is a science or whether or not it's an art. But honestly, I think it's a combination of both, and I think a good teacher will have a balance between the two. The science of teaching involves pedagogy, which is the study of teaching methods, including the goals of education and how to achieve them. Pedagogy is what you're going to be studying in the College of Education. So this involves things like how to make a lesson plan, how to differentiate instruction, how to come up with goals and objectives for your class. There needs to be a balance for teachers between content knowledge, and that is your subject area that you're going to teach. So for example, if you plan to teach math, you need to know everything there is to know about that particular math subject area. At the same time, pedagogical knowledge is those teaching methods. So we need to have a combination of knowledge between teaching methods and content knowledge. You have probably been in classes before where you thought to yourself, wow, like that instructor or that teacher really knows their subject area. So really knows science or language arts or social studies, but they don't know how to teach it or they don't know how to explain it. So that is where that combination of content knowledge and pedagogical knowledge comes into play. In terms of teaching as an art, I wanted to read these two quotes for you from two different teachers, just to kind of explain to you how teaching is not just a science, teaching is an art form as well. So the first teacher says, I once read that science is the knowledge and art is the application of that knowledge. In a number of ways, college prepared me with the knowledge. It gave me the knowledge of the acronyms to survive an IEP meeting. It gave me the knowledge to discard bad questions from an assessment. And it gave me the knowledge to never eat in the teacher's lounge. But the art of teaching cannot be learned in college. The art of teaching is learned in the thick of sixth period on the worst Monday of your life when your lesson was horrible and you have 5 minutes to completely overhaul it before your next group of 35 students walks in with administration trailing behind for an observation. The art of teaching comes from failing. The art of teaching is something that comes from inside a special type of person. And then the second quote says, I have witnessed teachers that teach via script, programmed almost from a lesson plan, never deviating from the plan. This is not teaching. Teaching is an art because it takes skill, time, and patience. It's an art form to know the right questions to ask, to know when to push and when to encourage, to know when to help and when to stand back. Teaching according to standards, according to checklists and observations may be a science. Teaching that actually happens in most classrooms is an art form. Teaching as an art is going to come with time and experience. Nothing is going to prepare you for that first day you are thrown into a classroom and there's 25 students staring at you, looking for you to lead the way. There's a big difference between what I remember as a first-year teacher and the teacher that I am now. So yes, pedagogy is certainly important. The science of teaching is important, but the art of teaching is important as well. So just know, again, it's going to come with time. It's going to come with experience. There's some people that are just natural born teachers. It's almost like that person who was just naturally born to be a musician. It's like as soon as they were born, they could, sit at piano and they can just play. So there's some people that can just walk into a classroom and they've got it. But there's other people that it's going to take time and it's going to take practice. And yes, there are going to be times you're going to fail, but you're going to learn from it and you're going to grow. So just as somebody can sit down at the piano and start playing, there's other people that want to play the piano and it's going to take them time to practice. It's going to take them time to, hear from other people, get lessons on it, and then try, fail, and then practice again. So teaching as an art, again, is going to come with time. And then finally, teaching as a service. You are providing a service to your students. And ways you provide that service to your students is by building relationships. It's by creating a climate of respect. It's promoting character building. It's communicating positively to both your students and their parents. So this quote here says, no significant learning occurs without a significant relationship. So it's so important. Above everything else, it's so important for you to build relationships with your students. So I provided you over there on the right just 5 tips to build relationships with students. Special greetings. So greet them when they come in the door. Personal share. Not only have them share personally, but you need to share personally as well. We're real people here. We're real people in the classroom. It's okay to let your students know that you're having a bad day. It's okay to share a funny story from something that happened to you over the weekend. Check in with your students frequently, and I'm not talking academically, I'm talking personally. You want to listen to them. Again, get them to share something about their lives. We used to do, when I taught 7th grade math, we used to do good things. So before we even talked about math, we would spend 5 to 10 minutes, students just sharing something either good has happened to them or something good that they've done for somebody else. And then finally, make mistakes. Let students know that it's okay to make mistakes by demonstrating that you can make mistakes too, even as their teacher. In terms of assignments, the first thing I want you to do this week is to read Chapter 5, which is the Science, Art, and Service of Teaching. I then want you to complete 2 assignments. The first one is the 5E lesson plan assignment. So there's a bunch of different styles of lesson planning that is discussed in this chapter. Actually, if you go on to take EDU 187, we will be discussing backward design and practicing how to use backwards design as a lesson plan template. But I decided to do something different for this course. It's a bit of a more simplified version. It is the 5E lesson plan. Again, it is discussed in your text, so make sure to read your text. But in this document here, I want you to fill out this template, and you can use either the standard or objective that you chose for last week, or you can choose a different one from your subject and content area to design your lesson plan. Now in this template, there's a lot of text that is written in red. That is me just guiding you on what to put in each one of the boxes. So make sure to delete that text out before you actually write in your lesson plan. There is an example given right beside it, and that is if I was still a 7th grade teacher and I was using the 5E template, this is what my lesson plan might look like for a particular objective. And so feel free to look at that example that I've given you just to give you an idea of what this is going to look like. And then your second assignment, you're going to be viewing the TED Talk, What Makes a Good Teacher Great. It is one of my favorite TED Talks. I love a good TED Talk. And then you're going to be answering some follow-up questions here. And this video really focuses on how we build those relationships with students, how we go from just the science of teaching to really the art and the service of teaching. So I really want to make sure that you watch this video because I think there's some great content in there. If you have any questions at all about either of these 2 assignments, please just let me know.